Last episode of American Gods, everyone. Me and Nick are here to wrap up the final episode of American Gods. We finally have Bilquist back. We finally have a showdown happening. We finally have a certain Mr. Wednesday saying his name finally. Lots of stuff happening in the final episode to discuss today. Obviously, it's the last episode. It's kind of sad. It feels like it went really, really quick, but it's probably because it's only 8 episodes, and I think because most TV shows are longer.
It's funny because the season feels like it went for longer, but some of the episodes felt like they dragged on forever.
You reckon? Because I was like, oh, it's by the time
one dragged on.
I mean, he wasn't a big fan of that one, but no. we'll do an episode. We'll have one more episode of Viewing Gods next week where we're going to discuss the season as a whole. But I was thinking today, as a quick note, I was like, it feels like only 3-4 of the 8 episodes were like main story, and then the other 4 episodes were kind of spin-off stuff, so it doesn't feel like a lot happened in the whole season. But we'll discuss that in a bigger part next week. Stick to the episode. We get Jesus this week. It's about the coming of Jesus. Many Jesus. I feel like, straight up, I kind of just wanted to Google straight away. I'm like, has this episode offended anyone? Or has this show in general offended anyone yet? Because
I haven't really said anything about it.
I'm surprised because, it's based on a book, so obviously if the material is going to upset someone, the book probably would have upset a lot of people.
So what did your search entail? Was anyone offended?
Not that I saw. Which surprises me.
That's a bit disappointing.
Especially considering the amount of Jesus is in the episode. Let's start with the start of the episode. Bilquist. She's back. We're getting told her origin story basically by Mr. Nancy. Who is he's a suit maker. Weird opening to the episode.
Very weird.
I thought it was quite odd. Has all these spiders running along. I'm like, oh yeah, Mr. Nancy, what's up with him? Why are we showing him again? And it's like, oh, we're just opening in present day. They're sitting there, they're getting suits made. And Mr. Nancy's, this is very, the theater type aspect of this part was like, really, it's this part because Mr. Nancy comes out, he's like, I've got a story to tell. And then the light like flicks on and it's like, okay, we're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes an episode.
His character
it's part of his character, but it's like,
yeah.
It was interesting to have him telling a story this week in comparison to the other week when we had and that telling story. So it's interesting how so many of the characters in the universe are storytellers as like side jobs. It's all they all have stories to tell. They all tell their own stories. They all like telling stories. It's odd. It's very Neil Gaiman, obviously. But so he starts telling a story. He's like, "Well, we got a story of a queen, and the queen, Bilquist." And we cut back, and we're opening on a scene of her in fucking, I don't know, 14
it was
BC.
64 BC, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. A long fucking time ago, some would say, is the long to say.
It's
that.
older than the Earth, because the Earth is 2,000 years old.
There you go. In case you don't follow along with facts of the explosion network, the Earth is in fact only 2,000 years old. So she's having an OG orgy, I suppose. Like OG orgy. Just fill a temple, fill your typical Egyptian temple fill it with ding dongs and naked chicks as well, and just get your fuck on. Get your fuck on.
Yeah. Get freaky.
Get freaky. And she's obviously prayed to at this stage. She's actually like a proper queen. We're seeing her in her prime, I suppose, if you want to call it that. She's the queen of the lands, and kings come to her feet and all this sort of thing. And this dude comes up and he's like, "No, I'm a king," and he sprouts sprouts a crown from his head.
That was so weird.
See, that's the part. So this is the part when stuff like that's happened. And I'm like, that didn't really happen. This is just like embellishments in the like telling of the story. Like, you gotta. I'm learning very quickly to kind of like work my way around when people are telling stories inside the American Gods universe to be like, I don't think that actually happened. That's what he's just saying. Like it looked like. But we get to see her. I don't know. So it's weird because she starts fucking the dude, but she doesn't eat him at this stage. Instead of doing what we've seen her do before in episodes 1 or 2, she doesn't shove him all the way up there. She turns him into black goo. Then everyone else there also turns to black goo, and she sucks the black goo up her vagina.
Well, she's still young there, so she's still not moved on to solids yet. You gotta puree it first.
I like it. It makes perfect sense, really, when you think about it. That's, I mean, as good as an explanation for anything that I watched today as anyone else is going to give me, so I'll take it, I guess. Yep. I'm not going to argue about it. Now. That, canon, it's, Bilquist was only a baby until the mid-1970s, or wherever the fuck we go to next, when she's
1979.
Years and years ahead. 1979, the swinging 70s, and she's so I presume she's still in the same country. She's in the same, like, that's the same country, right? Yeah. So she's in the same place, her homeland, but it's changed. But she still appears to be having a great time.
Yeah.
She's obviously not getting prayed to at temples anymore by thousands of naked orgy dudes. But at the same time, seeing what we see later in the episode, I'm like, oh, she still has a temple, and like maybe people probably still believe or like something to like look at her, especially because what we see later about her, like stuff getting pulled apart and blown up and stuff like that. But so dudes like, she's like trying to pick up this chick, and then like all these dudes like terrorist type militia, I suppose, something like that.
I don't know. I think the way I interpreted it was like hardcore, streamlined Muslims that don't allow that kind of crap.
Yeah. That's because then that makes all sense.
Because the whole undertone is Nancy repeating that there's two type of men that accept powerful women, and other guys that just get angry and try to.
Oh, there was lots. Away. Yeah, there was lots of like feministic undertones to like to what it was saying. Yeah, about like women of power and stuff like that. Because she's the queen, she's number one, but then the man wants to take over, and she fucks the man and turns the man into goo and all this sort of thing. But so they all come in, shoot up the place, and then she's kind of like more or less runs from her homeland, I guess. The best way, like runs from her home. She's like, I'm gonna fuck this place. Fuck off! I'm going to America. America, great place. Yeah, she fucks a dude on the plane. That's best pickup line. I mean, that shit would never happen to real people.
Where's
real
life. I don't see it. Show me.
Yeah.
Like this crazy fucking bitch.
And then when she gets there, she more or less ends up in America, and shit does not go well for her at all.
I want to say something. If you jump off a plane and they're checking people who've come off, wouldn't they notice somebody's missing?
Yes, you'd think so. Like when the checkout chick or whatever, the attendance chick's just like, where'd that person go? And she just suddenly has sunglasses on. She's just like, just looks, just like, doesn't really say anything. Just like, huh, I ate him. Like,
you're still here technically.
Yeah, he's just inside my vagina. So he goes to America, and her country's still getting fucked. And so we cut to like 2013. She's now like a homeless person.
Yeah.
Because she's like lost all her power and her sex appeal and whatever, all that sort of stuff. Like it all just goes to shit. Even though like her looks deteriorate as well. She's like got fucking.
I think face. The way, because they show her going to the hospital where that girl she was going to pick up at the club and she had HIV, so I assumed that she got HIV too with all the lesions on her face and whatnot. Yeah,
that makes sense too. Yeah, I kind of forgot that part. Because it confused me because I was like, No, it confused me because I was like, why is that girl... Why is she in America now? Like, that girl's in America too. She came too? Like, she wasn't on the plane, but suddenly she's there and she's in that bed. It's like, she's got HIV, so now she has HIV because they fucked, so now...
It's so random. Like, I don't she doesn't seem to have any attachment to any of the people she gobbles up. So I don't know... Was she in love with her?
One
was
girl...
she like the one that got away or something like that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. It's weird because she never really has any love for anyone.
She didn't get to worship a cunt.
So she ends up on the street. Not very healthy. She at one stage looks through a restaurant that basically has her name on it, I guess.
Restaurant. Yeah. Has her image on it.
And yeah. She's like, oh, that's interesting. Has a look. Sees the restaurant menu. Is like, huh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe this is like a place of prayer for me or some shit like that, I suppose. I don't know. Something along those lines. Because she doesn't look pissed off. She's like, no. This is interesting. But then she sees on the live TV her I presume her or one of her
I think it's
places back there was...
They implied to be one of her temples or whatever.
Yeah. That it's getting attacked by the whatever we want to call it, the militia, the ISIS-like place.
It literally is ISIS. That's real news footage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it even cooler, I guess. So, yeah, they're just blowing up her temple because...
Don't try to reason.
Don't try to understand why ISIS does anything. Nonetheless, Mr. Tech Cunt shows up himself. Technological cunt boy. Hello, Bill Quist. I'm sucking on my vape. I'm pulling out my limo. Even just, do you want a phone? Do you want a... Oh, do you want a... I'm just like, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face in a minute, dude. Like, I cannot handle him every time he's on screen. Oh, he's so annoying. I know he's supposed to be annoying, and like that means it, like the actor and the writing and everything's... It's doing its job, but at the same time, you're just like, fuck. It's kind of like like Joffrey in Game of Thrones. It's like... he was always such an annoying little shit, but he was meant to be an annoying little shit. Yeah. But you were still, every time he was on screen, you're just like, I want to drop kick that fucker in the face. Like, fuck, he's so annoying. He basically shows up and confirms all our jokes from the first several episodes, which is that you do, in fact, not swipe right on Bill Quist.
I called it.
Yeah. He shows up. He says, "Here, you want a newfangled temple where people can pray to you and hit you up and stuff like that. Let me introduce you to Tinder." So when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, wonder what he gets out of this." And then it wasn't until later in the episode I was like, "Oh wait, it's helping him too because it's technology. Yeah. Like it wasn't like I can just help you out. It's like." Yeah, he's like, I can use this, like, goddess of sex as a way to up my numbers.
Yeah, their way to also recruit them to their side as well.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to give you this, but at the same time, it's really helping them out quite a bit. So, it wasn't like At first, I was like, why is he just helping her out? That seems quite odd. But no. That's not the way this is happening at all. So we cut back to... When he's done telling the story of Bill Quist's rise and fall and rise to power in Tinder World again, we cut back to them sitting in the dressing room. Mr. Nancy's like, great fucking story. What was the moral of the story? Shadow's like, don't trust people. People suck. Yeah, Mr. Nancy's like, you're a fucking dickhead.
Where do you get with that compromise?
Yeah, you go without compromise, you fucking idiot. And then like ask Wednesday, and he's like, "Get yourself a queen," or whatever he says. And then my favorite line out of this whole part, my favorite quote that I had to write down was when Shadow goes, he starts yelling. They get into this whole argument. He's like, "You've pissed me off." And then Wednesday's like, "You're not pissed off. You just got questions. You got to ask questions and stuff like that." Yeah. And then he like stands up and he goes. He's like, you just cut the fucking dude's head off with a sword. And you're just sitting here getting a suit. And he goes, who are you, the fucking Godfather? And then Nancy quickly in the background kind of goes, who else did you think he was? And they, like, no one really notices, but he, like, says it. And you're like, yeah, like... It's like, who is fucking Godfather? Yeah. It's like, it's kind of It's kind of what we're in about. So they get these suits. They get in suits because they're going to go visit Easter and they need to look nice, is the story. We then get the second time in the whole season that's happened so far, unless I missed a time, is we get Shadow once again dreaming about wild beasts climbing through forests and stuff like that. What
Which
exactly
is
all
funny
this means, I have no
the
fucking
promo
clue.
material for it made you think it was going to be a lot more in it. The dreaming sequences and that.
And I thought there would be a lot more in it because there's heaps of it in Hannibal.
Yeah.
So when before the show came out, I was like watching the trailers and stuff. I'm like, oh, there'll be this shit in every single episode, like him seeing this stuff or dreaming this stuff. But nope, we got it in the first or second episode, and then he hasn't seen the wildebeest until and then we haven't seen it to this. The bison, which I have no idea what it means. I presume if you've read the book, you understand what the fuck its significances is.
Yeah.
But anyone else like me is probably just watching it going, he's climbing on a bunch of skulls. He's now in like a forest land, and there's a bison, and he's looking. Shadow's face when he sees the bison is probably most audience members going, "What the fuck is going on here?" Lucky it didn't take that long though, because I was like, I don't know if I can handle like 5 minutes of trippy scenes without any explanations. But he does wake back up and they're in the car and they're approaching Easter's household in, where's it, Wisconsin? That's right.
No, Kentucky.
Kentucky, right. Heaps of Easter bunnies on the road, little bunnies following them around. You're like, oh, these are cute. And then some of them form a barricade, and Wednesday runs them the fuck over.
Yes. Before he says it, I don't think she's going to be welcome to us at the beginning of the then thump, thump.
But she, remember last week I was wondering if
it was one of their
the bunny was being controlled to do what it did. This episode turned me off that whole idea because the bunnies are their own, like, they're not like, she doesn't have like in my mind it was like, oh, maybe she has like a connection with them and like she can just mind like what they do, but they're their own little minions, and they actually have to like run up to her and be like, nip 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 nip, and she's like, what's that, doc?
Just like Wednesday with his ravens.
Yeah, well, like, yeah. He has to actually listen to them and talk back to them. He doesn't have like a mind link with them. So yeah, the one that jumped out in front of the car. So they arrive at the fancy little house with the pink rose gardens and all sorts of shit. Very fancy place happening. Which straight away, we're not really slowing down. Like, this is Easter. We're going to go meet Easter. Don't be too nice to her, but be nice to her. We don't want you to get too attached to Shadow. We get there, but the funniest moment straight away was, so they walk her through. Wednesday does this whole speech about Easter and all this sort of shit about how it's actually her day and like more or less saying that Jesus stole it off her.
Yeah.
And then you see her, she's off on the deck, she starts doing this whole speech. And then Jesus walks up beside. Fucking made me laugh. It fucking made me laugh. He just walks up next to Shadow, and he's like,
with the candles behind his head, and it falls
with the huge,
halo.
It's like, yes, it was so corny, and at the same time, I was just like, oh, this made me laugh. It's so weird. Hey, Shadow. Hey, do I know you? Yeah.
Yes, you do.
He's just like walks off like, all right, bye, Jesus. Like, and then but quickly introduced later in the episode that there's you realize pretty fast that nearly every second person walking around this house is actually a Jesus.
Yeah,
there's probably like 50 or 100 different fucking Jesuses walking around this house.
And the woman breastfeeding is supposed to be Mary and fucking whatnot.
Mary, yeah. He clicks onto it, like they show him as they walk through. He's like, lady breastfeeding, interesting.
And they go with all the fucking like jelly beans falling through his hands.
Yeah, another Jesus just has jelly beans falling through his hands. Interesting stuff. Very. This is what I mean about how is no one offended. I always expect you can't stuff like this. I'm like, you can't make fun of Jesus without someone like chucking the spit about it.
It's almost worse than making fun of Muhammad.
Well, So they pretty much clear up the thing about the other week about the Mexican Jesus, where it was all kind of just like they didn't really explain in that episode, like what I was saying about in that episode about there being more than one was like from an interview I read after that. So they didn't really explain in that episode. So if you hadn't read, you were like, huh, maybe that was the Jesus. But in this episode, they plainly out loud say, no. There's many Jesuses for all the different times. Wednesday says for all the different times that anyone's like closed their eyes and like pictured a different Jesus. That's another Jesus. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of Jesuses.
I think
they're all Jesus Christ.
Says,
there's a lot.
If you believe in a God, then the God will be real or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So, Jesuses are just born from people's mind holes. Is there an original Jesus? Which one's the original one? Surely there is one. Maybe that's the OG Jesus. We'll probably never know which is the first Jesus, but there has to be a first one.
Guess who Jesus edition.
Guess who Jesus? I mean, it's not like they all look like. There's that shot later in the garden when they have the heap of Jesuses in a little bit, and there's like a black one, fat one, skinny ones, different. You know, like it's not like they all look like your typical Jesus.
When Wednesday was going on his spiel about how Jesus stole Easter's Day or whatever, and all the Jesuses looked really fucking guilty and hurt.
Yeah, they're just all like, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't really mean to do that. I'm so sorry. The main Jesus. Yeah, the main Jesus is just like walks over. He's like, Easter, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do this. So Shadow, Wednesday go talk to Easter. They start talking. She drags them all into a different room or whatever. And Wednesday starts doing his big. She's very pissed off, but Wednesday kind of swings her around pretty quickly on terms of things. But first off, make note of how weird Shadow acts. Like he acts like a 12-year-old boy who just saw a pretty girl around fucking her. He's like, oh, hi. Oh, sorry, my name's Shadow. Yeah, like, hi.
Yeah, she goes, you bought me a blusher.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ, Shadow, what are you... Fucking God, get your shit together. He's like, but it's not like he's like, oh, she's a god, I'm such in shock. Because up until later in the episode, he's still like, I don't believe any of this shit. So he's literally just like, oh, pretty girl.
Pretty much.
I can't talk to pretty girls. Like, Shadow, get your fucking shit together. So they have this, he's somehow in the room. Wednesday's like, yeah, look, come join my side. They killed my old mate. And then he forged me the sword. And whoop-de-doo, just pulled it out of my fucking TARDIS in my pocket or some bullshit. Just pulls this
coat pocket.
This fucking sword. I was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? He's not like, oh, he doesn't... I would have believed it more if he just like put his hand up and like a black hole opened in the sky. He just like pulled it down. I'd be like, oh yeah. But because he just pulls it out of his jacket somewhere, I'm like, how's that work? Like, what's the explanation for that?
Nancy's that good at making suits.
Well, I suppose that's just wrap it up to that. Yeah, Nancy can make suits that have they're bigger on the inside or some shit. Oh, sure.
And then he tells Shadow to fuck off while they go have a chat and meets Jesus at the pool.
Yeah. And Jesus at the pool is floating on the water and trying to make wine.
He's drunk sitting there. He drops the glass in the water.
What's he say? I can't remember. He's just like...
Oh, I don't remember.
I swear he said like something like, shit, or like, damn. It's like such a little like...
Oh, no, he goes, something about, God damn it.
Yeah,
he's like, to himself.
Yeah, he's like, I had to like double take it because he just like drops the whole glass. He's like, at this stage, I think my number one complaint is just like, Shadow, you're such a fucking dickhead. Like, he's sitting there talking to Jesus. He's still like, I don't know if I believe. Like, believe in what? You don't like at this stage, and he's still just like, it could all be a big dream. This is a very long, like, I can't remember if I've ever had a dream that's this long or vivid in my entire life. And, like, you've been pinched a couple times over at this stage, and you'd have to be like, either I'm crazy or this is real, but it's definitely not a fucking dream, Shadow. Get your shit together. I'm sick of hearing about it. Yeah, he has a cool conversation with a Jesus. Knows how he picks the typical Jesus.
He's credited in the episode credits as Jesus Prime.
Oh, really? So maybe he is the OG because he's the most he looks the most as what you'd think like your typical stereotypical image of Jesus is. So that would make sense, I suppose, if they wanted to do it that way.
That the stereotype Jesus.
Yeah. Come on, fuck's sake, Jesus. I don't even watch that back just to make sure he does say God damn it. Just drops the glass. Get your shit together, Jesus. Well, we do cut back to a scene of Bilquis, who is in her little museum again, at which stage I was like, is this the same day we left the last time? Because the timeline of Bilquis events...
It could be, yeah.
Because there's no timeline for them, so I don't see any reason why all that stuff, the last scene we saw her in, could literally just be this exact same scene now. I'd have to go back and check her clothes or something like that, but it's not that big of a deal if it is or isn't, but...
No.
It would make more sense if the reason... Yeah, but it would make more sense the reason why we haven't really seen her would be because they showed her that stuff and then her story had to pause until the rest of the characters kind of caught up to that moment. But if they've just literally not shown anything of her for the 4 episodes between, or whatever, no, fucking 6 episodes between. 4 or 5, I think. It would just be because that's the other really weird thing. It's Bilquis, and then none of her for several episodes, and then she shows up now. But if it is the exact same spot, that does make more sense to me. And Tech sitting in the background, tries to call her with his hands-free headset or some shit, and then more or less is you've got my numbers, good job on your numbers on Tinder. Let me smoke my vape stick in your fucking face. And then says, "I need
to seduce him."
Yeah, she tries. I appreciate that she actually tries, but he turns into he's like, "Oh no, girl, get off me! I don't like girls."
I don't want to spend eternity in your vagina or something like that.
And I was like, you know what, Tech Boy, you're right. That's probably I don't like you, but at least you're smart enough to realize that place probably isn't the nicest up in there. Jack Black loves it up there though. For some reason, this is what I don't get. He's like, I'm calling in your favor now. I'm like, can't you kind of even? You helped her out, sure. But by helping her out, she's also, as you just said, helped your numbers heaps and whatever, for all that stuff. So to me, I'm kind of just isn't it?
Yeah. Are they even?
Are they? They'll be close, but she's like, he's like, no, you owe me this huge favor, which automatically I started thinking he's going to go send her the fuck Shadow, which they do, in fact, confirm right at the end of the episode. Basically.
Do they?
Yeah, because she's on the bus, and she's pulling into the same area.
No. That's different. We'll get to that later.
Okay, we'll get back to that. But at this point, I was thinking his favor is going to be go fuck
possibly
Shadow.
Yeah.
Go fuck Shadow, and that's a good way to get rid of him or something like that.
Yeah.
Easter then has one of her little bunnies as they're sitting there talking. She's still sitting there talking to Wednesday, and they're like, oh, this is going to be great. Everyone's going to pray to you again. He's using all the right words. He's swooning her. It's great. And this little bunny drops up and then dip, 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 in her ear. And she's like, oh, fuck, I've got to run off for a moment. This episode is so weird. Because there's slowly more supernatural, whatever you want to call it, fantasy stuff happening. Yeah, especially compared to the first half of the season, which makes me think as we get further and further into the show, more of the episodes are just going to be more full-on people just doing crazy shit because it's just building slowly. So if it continues,
kind of introducing us to the world as Shadow's being introduced.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's a cool way to go about it. If by next season he's more believing in everything and he's more enveloped in it, then we'll get to see more of it and stuff like that. But the bunny's like, hey, there's a dead person in your house. No, not one of the Jesuses that have come back to life. An actual dead person is in your house. Yeah. And she runs down there. Hi, dead girl. Hello. Oh, no. She's not a fan of Sweeney at all, apparently. They don't have good history together. But she apparently owes him a favour for something, and I kind of wish I knew what that was now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the story I want to know. I'm like, what the fuck could she have done? What the fuck could he have done to owe her? Interesting. Nonetheless, she's like, kind of starts feeling sorry for her because, I don't know. Like, oh, look at this dead girl. I'll try and help you, sure. Yeah. And then, but then she drags her off into the room, looks deep inside her retina to see the last image she saw.
Yeah, did the whole Wild Wild West thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, what was the last image your retina captured before you died? And she sees Sweeney's face.
Yeah.
Which to her, she very quickly, smartly figures out what that means, which is that he killed her on the count of being told to do it by Wednesday, obviously. Because there's no way Sweeney would just kill some random chick.
Yeah, and Sweeney goes to, don't tell him I'm here. They would be bad or something like that.
Yeah. But, so she's like, look, I wish I could help you. I was going to help you, but you were killed by a god. And by God, she does mean Wednesday. And she's not like, oh, I'm going to run back up there and be pissed off at Wednesday because he's killing random girls. Yeah. Which at first I was like, oh, man, she's going to be pissed. And then I quickly realized, I'm like, wait, no. They're gods. They're probably, like, to her, this is just like, oh, bad luck. Like, why did he want you dead? Don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Like, she just rubs it off very fast.
Sweeney said, you weren't murdered, you were sacrificed.
Yeah, just to help bring Shadow into be a believer or something. Yeah, God, I don't know. It's, we're going to get a full explanation of that next season, especially after the cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. So then another bunny runs in, right as she's basically saying to... Right as she's like, look, I'd love to help you, can't help you, have fun, good luck. Bunny comes in again. Nip, 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 nip. Basically says, media's here. Oh, I'm going to run back off to fucking... Easter's being a very good house guest, house party host. Trying to be. Between dead people, Jesuses, and new gods, old gods, it's a going place, this party. So she runs to the door. Media's there. She's like, hi. Once again, Media, this time in a different, complete outfit, which means every time I swear I'd never want her to do the same thing twice. I hope she's never in the same thing twice. Like, I don't know I hope they can keep that up for the length of the show. Because I'm enjoying every time she shows up. I'm like, I didn't even recognize her at first. That's the best thing about it. Because I'm just like, who's this chick? Either. Yeah, she starts talking. I'm like, who's this supposed to be? And then they cut to like a close-up shot of her face. And I'm like, oh, it's Media. But when they had like the shot of them hugging and she opens the door and stuff, I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So, that's even when she was David Bowie. What did you
take away from her pretty much saying that they have a friendship and whatnot, and they have a standing date where they go and do stuff?
Well, they probably do have a standing date because I don't think they're actually friends because they don't sound like friends later when very shortly when Media starts giving this speech, or basically as you want to call it, she basically puts Easter in her place.
Joins outside.
Yeah, she's like, the whole thing, she's like, look, everyone in the world's atheists now. You took the same deal Saint Nick did, which I was on make like my ears pricked up. I'm like, oh, I hope we get to see Santa Claus next season. She's like, no one fucking believes in shit anymore. We gave you a good deal. If you have any problems with what your deal is, put a pillow over it, smother your problems, and then get the fuck over it, more or less. Like, she kind of goes from being like, oh, sucky, we're friends. Oh, look great. And then she shows her true colors, which is that, like, she's more or less here as a job to make sure everyone's in their place, doing their jobs correctly and stuff like that. So I don't think she's a friend at all. Especially after that huge... It is a very big, like, 1 minute, like, you get back in your hole, shut the fuck up, Easter. I don't know what Wednesday's been telling you, but GTFO. Like, get the fuck... but right as she's going over all this, and Media's getting angry, and apparently her... Because to be clarified, they meet outside the door, they have a little conversation, and they walk down to the garden, and then when they get down to the garden, she starts this whole spiel, more or less, that we're talking about now. She's I don't know if it was like as she's getting angrier, Media, it's like her little goon things start like
multiplying
or something like that, or she was making them multiplying work on purpose. But it just seemed like as she got angrier,
she's saying, "Oh, is Wednesday here, or is he here?" And then they start multiplying and whatnot, kind of like a show of force.
Yeah. Because it's like 1 to 2, and there's like 2 to 4, and then all of a sudden there's a heap of them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one of them transports tech cunt there, like out of nowhere. He's like, I'm here too! Vape for life! Oh, guys! And then all this is happening.
You're gonna join me.
Yeah.
You're old as fuck.
You're old, man. You need to get over it. When than you. Fucking sit the fuck down. Because Wednesday, more or less, at some stage, I can't remember the exact line. Like media says something about like you're old. Like no one cares about you. Like you're doing the best you can because we've helped you out.
Yeah.
And then right as she's saying all this shit in the background, Wednesday's like, "Hey, guess what? I'm here, guys. Like, I've got a speech to give too." And
it's a party now.
Yeah, he starts giving this huge speech as Tech Boy comes out and all this sort of stuff, and he's more or less like, "You can all get fucked. We're not fucked. We're still very much alive, and we're going to make the humans." Well, he doesn't say humans, but we know what they're talking about, the general humans. So I'm going to make them all believe in us again. We're going to use wrath, because that's what he was talking to Easter about when they have an old chat. He's like, we'll take the food away from them. We'll make them pray for their food. Like, it's too easy for them to get food now. They have no issues with it. They used to pray for their food and thank for their food and all this sort of thing.
God's can taketh and giveth and taketh away.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's a very, I like how they, out of all the aspects to try to tackle on, like, why, it's a very basic kind of God praying thing, like, thank you. In religion type aspects and stuff, like thank your Lord for your food and before you eat and all that sort of thing. It's like a very basic. So the fact that it's a very easy one to understand and quickly to grasp. It's nothing crazy. Like we'll it's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, take the food away from people, make them do that stuff. So, and then Wednesday goes into full God mode, I suppose. Super Saiyan God mode or something.
He goes to Shadow, do you believe? And he's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah,
you want to know who I am?
You know what this... do you know what this reminded me of? Twilight. Because he goes...
Don't quote
he's like, who do you... It is literally the same line, though. He's like, who am I? I don't know. I'll tell you who I am. Vampire. But then he just starts listing off all his titles. Glittering. Yeah. He nearly does. He's got fucking lightning and shit fucking in the background. The camera's like spinning around. I was like, whoa, what's happening? He starts like listing off all his names. So he's like, I'm such and such and such and such, and I'm known by many, many names. I'm called a million different things. Blah, blah, blah. I am Odin. Whoa! The crowd went wild.
Did you take away that this was meant to be a revelation?
I think no, because I'm pretty sure like we pretty much said 2 episodes ago they said who he was. It's a revelation for Shadow.
They can say, I don't know. They just come off weird to make a big deal of it like that when they've already previously revealed who he is to us before.
It was a very weird scene because they have the whole camera spinning round. The cool effects, they like show his statue, which I'm pretty sure is like the statue we see in like the opening credits. Like it looked very much like one of those tiki type things to me. That's what I thought it was supposed to be. His like totem pole
stone sculpture
thing. Yeah. They're like, oh, and then it cuts to that thunder, Odin, and then it cuts back to normal footage, and he's just like, Ian McShane's just like. And I'm just like, I'm not as excited as maybe I'm supposed to be because I already knew this from the get-go of the show. And if I didn't, I'm pretty sure I would have worked it out by now unless I knew nothing about, like, mythology of God.
I'm going to stop you there, but Anthony Hopkins was the best Odin of all time.
Get out of here, Kanye. I do agree. It was a weird paced scene because of the way it kind of has this big epic moment and it's just like, Like, okay, maybe someone out there who hadn't worked it out. But I feel like if you hadn't worked it out at this stage,
they pretty much hit you in the face with it, especially with that satellite and the Odin satellite.
Yeah, they very much.
And with fucking Sweeney saying he's Grimnir and stuff, all you have to do is a quick Google search and it comes up exactly who he is.
So the only way this scene would have been like a big revelation is if they tried they hid it all season, like none of the hints, none of the even subtle hints. But that's what I mean, like about the episode of Mr. World, they pretty much just said, this is who it is, this is who it is, this is who it is. It's written on stuff. We're not saying his name straight out, but it is right in your fucking face. So,
and Shadow didn't catch on because media was floating and he still couldn't get over it.
Yeah. And of everything happening, why the fuck are you floating?
And then he does a big lightning bolt and kills all the minions.
Takes
it to her.
Yeah. He's like, I dedicate this kill to Easter. And then Tech Boy's like, what kill? And then bam! And he's like, yeah, I got it, guys. He gives a little look. Like, did anyone see? Like, he just hit a baseball out of the park or something. He's like, yeah, I got it. Well, you wait till you see me pull out my sword from my TARDIS pocket. And then that hypes up Easter because she kind of looks over like, ooh, we're doing it. We're officially, fuck them. We're going to do this. It's like, oh, they'll all pray to you. And then he says, now Easter, he's like, show them or something like that. Show them who you are or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. Show who you really are, yeah.
Show who you really are. And she like walks out and she throws her arms up in the air. And for some reason, Tech Boy and media have no idea what's going to happen because I don't know. Like, surely they would know what she's going to do or have some idea what she's going to do.
I think they're more like they don't realize just how powerful they are. They don't.
That makes sense if all the old gods were like washed up by the time the new gods came in, I guess. So that would kind of make sense because they're kind of just like, what's she going to do? And then she does this all like they could have stopped her very easily or tried to stop her at least, but they just kind of watch. They watch as she stands there and she causes a famine across all of Texas. I presume is the way I took it.
I thought it was the world.
World, really? It could be the world. They didn't really show the globe.
That's what I took away from it, yeah.
Well, if it's the world, that's even more fucking epic going into season 2. But I was like, it's at least like half the country or something like that, like a big enough.
Yeah. Because I know you see the state line for Wisconsin at least. So.
Well, if it's the world, that's even more crazy. But yeah, she does. She does exactly what her and Wednesday were talking about just before,
rose petals.
Which is that. Yeah, well, she does that too. She takes away the food from everyone. She can very easily give back the food, of course, because that's obviously part of her power. It's like life, death, all that sort of stuff. So it's not just like human life. She can. Rebirth. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, when they talk about that before, they weren't just talking like, oh, she can bring back human life. It's like everything. She must have the control of life over.
Yeah, she doesn't resurrect. She's got the gift of life to give away.
Yeah. So she's, I mean, it would make sense if she's just wiped the world of stuff. And it's pretty cool. It's official. It's the official kind of, apart from the beheading yesterday, last week's episode, this is like the first official war move we have, and it does in fact cause the declaration of war, and it does in fact cause the war because they then cut to a shot of one of the Spy Kids minion things who's got Mr. World's face on it, who says between going and all sorts of weird shit that war's coming. If you wanted a war, you've got it, and you'll die in it, or something like that.
We skipped over earlier when the minions were there talking.
He did show up,
Mr. World comes up and he goes, you're the god of war, you don't want a war, it'll be a massacre. We've got all the guns and bombs and whatnot, and you just got swords and axes and whatnot.
And Wednesday's like, you know what? 0 fucks given. But he's wiped out by one of the minions. That's what I was like, why isn't he actually there? Is he actually a pervert? Like, he's just sitting in his little house somewhere, just...
See, I imagine him sort of like a Aiden Smith type character where he just goes
morphs, all
over the joint.
That makes sense, But they're officially the war that hasn't been talked about all season long is now actually a thing that's going to be happening. They've declared it. as much as Mr. World kept saying in that interview room a couple episodes ago that there's not going to be any war, I don't want any war, we're not going to have a war. It's you want the war, but I don't, so it's not going to happen. He's kind of forced his hand to a point where Mr. World is now like, yeah, you wanted it, you know what, fuck you. You've got the war.
Yeah.
I guess you're all going to fucking die. Die.
I want to make a note too with during the episode, the close-ups of Easter, it showed like wrinkles and crow's feet and all that kind of stuff. But after the kill and doing that, they do a close-up and she's more
lifelike,
full in the face, kind of like she's had work done or a little more youthful.
Yeah.
But
that's it doesn't really make sense though, because it's not like anyone started believing it. Well, maybe it was literally just Shadow suddenly believing. It
was the dedication.
The kills of the kills
where Shadow,
Wednesday
killed him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So we cut all this, and then Wednesday's looking very fucking happy with himself, standing there like, yeah, baby, we're going to fuck this shit up. I'm getting the war. I've got a sword in my pocket. This is awesome. Shadow's here. He's got a big smirk on his face. I just asked him if he believes. Yeah. Shadow says, I guess I do, or something like that. Oh, no, he says like, everything. He's like, I believe in everything all of a sudden. I was talking to Jesus before, but I didn't believe in him. He was floating on water. Still didn't believe. Fucking Shadow. But then to interrupt their fun little party, in the background, it's Laura Moon. Hey!
A very dead Laura Moon.
A very dead Laura Moon. He's just like, hey, fuckface, I want to talk to my husband. And Sweeney in the background doesn't look too pleased about the whole situation at all, really. Like, I did not want to be found out about being here. This is probably not going to go very well. Which it's a good point to... Like they cut to the Bilquist scene after this, but it's like I thought that was like, I could have just had the episode ended there because it's like a great cliffhanger. Because you're like, what is Tech Boy Media going to do? What is Laura about to say? What is Shadow going? Like, there's so many like, what do the characters react? It's like a great cliffhanger moment, and it's not like a shitty, like most TV shows do shitty cliffhangers where they're. It's like just bullshit cliffhangers that are resolved within 5 minutes of the next episode, and then they move on to the show. So kind of, it's actually just like a legit, just mid-plot cliffhanger.
Who killed JR?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not like. No, that's probably actually better, but that's a different thing. Nonetheless, I thought it was a great point. I thought cutting to the Bilquist scene next was kind of weird. I think they could have just had this part before, and I would have much rather the episode just ended right then. Like, I want to talk to my husband. Cut, credits, music starts playing. But instead of that, we do cut to this weird scene of Bilquist on a bus, and she's doing her weird pickup line again, like, hey, where's the fucking toilets? Can you show me where they are? And then after that...
I was half expecting the guy to go, lady, I'm gay. Something like that. So she doesn't have the power she used to anymore or something like that.
No, she got a. That was her breakfast, I think, as she was pulling in. But yeah, she's. So where is she? You said
so
before.
She's on a bus, and you see all the cars like backed up, and horse and carriage and whatnot going to the House on the Rock. Where the House on the Rock is where they're going to have the big.
That's where the
God Expo.
The God Expo is happening.
The God Convention.
So she's got sense of the God Convention.
I took away that she was either going to give inside information or some stuff like that. Not more fuck Shadow and take him to the vagina dimension.
I thought Tech Boy was just like, the easiest way to get rid of this guy?
Yeah.
Send her in. Get her to fuck. Easy. Fixed. I don't know. Maybe probably silly. Nonetheless.
Tune in 12 months from now and find out.
Yeah. I thought this was a great. I really, really like this episode. I think the
Bill was pretty good. One of the better ones.
The Bilquist stuff all at the start, which was like 15 to 20 minutes of the episode, was I really enjoyed all of that. I thought it was a bit weird that we hadn't seen her for so long, but then getting 20 minutes of her origin story, not just like 5 to 10 minutes. Because some of those Coming to America ones are only like 5 to 10 minutes, whereas hers was like nearly 20 minutes of the episode, I think, which is good. They made her a whole big story, which means moving forward, we have a bigger idea about her character and like why she's doing what she's doing and stuff like that, especially if she's going to be some sort of spy or something weird like that. And then everything at the house is probably some of my favorite stuff in the whole season. Like the Easter house, like just everything that's happening between like all the Jesuses, the funny Jesus moments, him talking to him, even when Laura shows up and like walks down, it's like, so these are all Jesuses, and Sweeney's just like kind of just gives a look like and then walks off, and she's like, yep, so Jesus exists. And that's just, I loved all that part. The chick that played Easter was fucking great too,
Kristen Chenoweth.
So overall, I think this is probably one of my favorite. I don't know what my favorite one would be. I think I'll think about that before we talk about it next week. I'll try and rank,
definitely
decide on my favorite episode.
We'll rewatch the season before our next episode.
I don't know if I want to go that far exactly, but overall, I really enjoyed the season finale. I was really hoping.
So did I.
I was really just because the season had been so slow. I was just like, please let's move it forward, and they do move it forward because, of course, like actually starting the war is a big. Yeah. It's a big enough thing for an episode, for the season.
A good jumping off point from prequel season.
Well, it kind of did feel like a prequel season. It does feel like going forward. It's like, oh, this is the actual story starting now. Nonetheless, that was episode 8 of American Gods. That was also episode 8 of Viewing Gods. You just watched. As we mentioned a couple times already, we will be returning next week for one final episode about the season, where we'll be discussing the season as a whole.
One last ride.
Yeah, it's about family, baby. So tune in for that.
More than you know.
Oh, Jesus. Is that like a little spoiler hints coming in? Pengu. So tune in next week for the season finale of Viewing Gods. I hope you enjoyed the season finale of American Gods, nonetheless. And we'll see you next week. Swipe right on Billquist.